Hey, I'm Johan Lenox. My debut album, What Do You Want to Be When You Grow Up, is out right now, and this is my album analysis on Turntable Teachers.
And welcome back. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is back in session, and we are here for a very special pop-up podcast at Big Night Live, and I'm here with Johan Lenox, who clearly needs no introduction, but I'll give him one anyway. He's a composer, he's an artist, he's a musician. He just dropped an album called What Do You Want to Be When You Grow Up? He's currently touring for 070 Shake, also has some other shows as well that he's headlining, one coming up in LA and one coming up in New York. The album just dropped, as I mentioned. It's an amazing body of work. He's a Turntable Teachers alumni. He's already been on the show about a year ago, and here we are in the flesh, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course,
this is awesome.
Man. It's great to be here.
It's great to finally meet you in person. I feel like
I'm starting to lose track. Like, I think I'm linking up with somebody later today who has been working for me for a year, and I don't actually think we've ever met. It's hard to even know.
It's pretty crazy, man. Well, so I want to congratulate you first off on the album. It's been great, amazing body of work. Obviously the last couple of weeks you've been touring. The album just dropped. So, like, what's the last couple of weeks been like for you? It feels like it's kind of a tumultuous time for you.
It's been pretty hectic. I mean, I was already planning all this shit around the album release, and then this tour. Like, my opening for the entire tour came together 3 days before the first date of the tour. So it was just a lot of time to get. It's just every single thing that happens. I'm like in a car trying to get on a call about something, or like they just put up a billboard, actually 2 billboards of me in LA because I'm on this thing from the Pharrell, like his music.com thing. So I got to go back to LA on Monday for my show, and then somehow before that show I'm going to run around the city and get photos of me in front of the billboard. It's just like, it's a lot of moving parts at once, but it's cool. It's good to like be on the road because it's like I can't be called into sessions. So it's like, at least when I'm in a car going somewhere, all I can do is just respond to people about stuff. So actually, it's kind of relaxing in a weird way.
Awesome. How's the tour been? Like, how's it feel like being on tour and doing all these shows? Like, is there a show so far that's been like really like a standout one for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping this will be the one. We're here tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow we're at Paradise Rock Club. But yeah, I mean, I guess of all the cities so far, Montreal went pretty crazy. DC, Maryland was really a good one for me. It's just, I try to, like, most of the people in the room aren't going to, like, know who I am necessarily when I get on the stage, except maybe a handful of people. So it's like the 2 factors for me is just like, is there a contingent of people that do know who I am and know the songs and stuff? And I think that was maybe biggest in Maryland, or I don't know, Detroit was pretty good for that too for some reason. But then also of the people that aren't familiar, like, is it just an audience of people that's like down and open-minded and shit? And I think that's been, those cities, it was really good. So.
Definitely. And back-to-back nights in Boston, where you've been grown up, and it's like, how do you feel like going into this weekend in terms of the 2 nights back-to-back?
I mean, it's crazy because I like haven't done a show here really. Like I've been living in LA for the past few years, and then the pandemic kind of foreclosed like any shows for a couple of years when I was really starting to ratchet things up. So just in the last 6 months, I started doing stuff in LA and New York, and then I was thinking, like, how can I get a Boston show together? I was thinking about people I could, like, share a bill with and all that, and, like, I'm still going to do that, but this is, like, a nice way to just immediately see, like, half the country in the space of basically a month. So, yeah, it's incredible to be back here. I'm so excited for tonight.
We're definitely pumped too. I'm sure a lot of artists we work with and people that we in the scene are definitely going to be here at least tonight or the following night. So yeah, we're stoked.
Oh yeah. And I'm down to, like, we should all do stuff after. You can cut this out if you want. We should all go out after and do something. I don't have any plans, so let's get.
Yeah, no, I'm
especially tonight.
Yeah, we're
then we gotta wake up early.
We're around.
So, yeah.
We're around for sure. After the show, would love to. I want to quickly dive into the album. Of course, I want to do a little album analysis and talk to you a little bit about the project and the theme of it. it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the title is "What Do You Want to Be When You Grow Up," and I loved, especially, I think, how you sequenced it. And I know you've talked a lot about that. What was it like for you sequencing a project where a lot of the songs you made years ago? Like, was this a theme that you've had for a really long time for the project, and you've just kind of been working towards it? Because I know, like, a song, like last time you were on our show, we talked a lot about phases with Cousin Stiz, and then, of course, you said, I know you've mentioned that, like, Fuck This Town, you made years and years ago. So what's that been like for you as you've structured the project?
Well, the songs like had to evolve to like Fuck This Town in particular. There's like 20 or 30 versions of, and it's just like they had to evolve to like fit into the project as the project changed. So it was kind of like, it's like as soon as one factor would happen, like, oh, I got this feature back from this person. Oh, but that like now the album's too lopsided in this direction, or like that production doesn't really it work under their vocal anymore, so I got to reproduce it. And like, oh, I really want to get an interlude from 070 Shake, and I got that, and then it's like, okay, cool, but how does that fit into the story, and like what do I got to change around it for it to flow? And I'm really big on like intros and outros and stuff, and just trying to really make sure that like really like I've been listening to this project as an album in order since before Phases was out, actually, and like stuff has changed since then, but it's the story and the flow of it came together like quite a bit before even some of the songs were finished.
Totally. I feel like it has not only a cohesive sound, but a cohesive just kind of obviously progression. Like you have this narrator who, you're kind of playing, whether it's you or, just an idea of somebody. This person clearly is past the point of feeling like, they've grown up, but they still want to do that like spontaneity and being a youthful person. And, but you're still in this messy situation in their life. And they sort of go from that to, so they're still like, getting drunk and calling up booty calls and all that. It's still then they're trying to get their shit together. Then this person obviously like tries to go home and find that, but then realizes that, hey, this is not really, where I can find myself here either. Realizing that some of the people from like home are just, and people like some of the adults as well are just as fucked up as us potentially, and the people that helped us grow up. And then I feel like there's a lot of hopelessness throughout the project until sort of the very end, where I feel like there starts to become a little bit of hopelessness. Maybe this character, this person that you're portraying hasn't really found the answers yet, but is finding some hopelessness. So that gave just a quick little Spark Notes version of this album. Try to fill in some holes. Try to fill in some holes there, though, if I get in specific.
No, yeah, I mean, I think the thing, I guess, it's always weird. It's like it's almost inevitable that this happens, but like after a project comes out, I always like have some new realization about it. And I feel like the one this time was just that, like, I think in the end, the message of the album is really, it's what, like, my girlfriend who recorded all the voice memos and stuff, it's like what she's saying is kind of the actual message of the album. And me, like, my, like, character is more just, like, asking questions, and then, like, the answers to those questions are not clear, but it's sort of like the answer is just sort of like keep going and don't give up kind of. So I feel like it's sort of an anti-giving up album. Where the songs present like a lot of reasons to want to give up or be apathetic, and I don't think that my character ever really like gets to the point of being like, yeah, actually shit's gonna be great, but there is like this thing at the end of like, well, I'm still figuring it out, don't wait for me to figure it out, but I am working on it, I guess. So I feel like there is somewhat of an optimistic, if you can say that, kind of tone to it. Maybe
definitely
it's a very pessimistic vibe for the most part, but I don't know how you could live right now and not feel that way.
No, I understand that completely. Lyrically, there's definitely more of a pessimistic side of it. Even, I think, instrumentally, too. And, of course, on this album, you blend a lot of orchestral sounds and classical sounds, and then really blending in a lot of those really contemporary pop sounds as well. And I really feel like instrumentally, I think, obviously, lyrically, you can give off a lot as like through music to the listener. But I feel like instrumentally, this album in particular provides a lot of emotion through the tones. Especially in the beginning, I feel like there's a lot more of like a melancholy sound, and then towards the end, there's definitely more of a brighter tone. Was that like a purposeful thing for you, or?
It's interesting. I'm not 100% sure, but they're all. I mean, "Don't Wait for Me" is probably the saddest song of the album in a way at the end, but I don't know. Everybody hears stuff differently, and I think that's been the big lesson of what I've been doing for the past few years is that you can't really like tell people how to feel about something, and it's like I have my version of it, which is like, I feel like there's like a more fun, like sort of fuck it attitude in the middle of the album, kind of with hitting different and fuck this town and get my shit together.
Right.
And then I feel like it kind of takes a turn with like, I guess No One Gets Me towards the end, I feel like it gets kind of, I feel like Phases is kind of the low point emotionally, like that. It's just pure like bitterness, I feel like, and No One Gets Me is just like pure delusion. But then it's like the Shake is kind of like, hey, it's almost time to like, you know, stop fighting it basically in her interlude. And at the end, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready, but to grow up really. But, you know, I think that there's, yeah, it's sort of, I feel like it kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I could draw a picture of it. It would be like kind of low, mid, then kind of up, then fucking down, and then just sort of just kind of crawling your way back out at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think Don't Wait For Me, that song is, I think lyrically it definitely has more, like you're saying, a more sadder, like negative tone to it. But I think just instrumentally, to me, it just sounded a little bit more bright.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like that one's, there's like a little bit of like R&B that kind of creeps into the chord progressions too. Like Don't Be a Loser, I feel like is a little R&B. And then I feel like Don't Wait For Me is the only like actual R&B song on the album from how I think of R&B. So I feel like that also provides like maybe a, it's been interesting too because like I'm working on the next album already and I wasn't really planning on having anything remotely like that on there, but like the overall reaction from everybody that heard the album was that song is a banger, or like that it was like the one that they really felt and shit. And so now I'm kind of thinking like, oh, maybe that's a direction I should at least explore as well.
Oh yeah, the outro on that song is awesome.
Oh, with the noise, yeah, that's cool. I mean, no one's really asked me about that. There was one dude who did it a few months ago before it came out, but like the noise stuff is foreshadowed in Aimless, and and then it goes really ham. The last 2 minutes of the album are just full on fucking static, and I think what it sounds like to me most of all is it sounds like when you're in a car and you're like listening to the radio and you go through an area with bad reception, it just starts going, you know. But I feel like that the car is like a character on the album. I think kind of like there's a lot of stuff that takes place in the backseat of a car, and you know, just driving in the middle of the night, or like driving through your hometown, or like it's very like suburban driving music. And so I feel like it kind of plays into that of just like this sense of aimlessness and kind of like not heading to a destination, maybe getting pulled off the grid a bit, and you know, so I think that is sort of where I've landed on with that.
That's super dope. Super dope. Features are incredible, man. You got obviously 070 Shake on there, Cousin Stiz, Lancey Foe, K-Sci, Thousand Man Fani. Is that how you pronounce
Thousand
that?
Man Fani. Casey is how
Casey. Sorry, excuse me. My apologies, Casey.
Yeah, he's a new artist. He's a great artist, though.
He's awesome. He's awesome. You actually put me onto him. I listened to some of his newer stuff recently.
He's like my favorite newest kind of guy.
He's incredible. Do you have any like memorable stories or anything that from any of these features, getting or working with any of these people that really stands out to you? Or
I mean, there's a couple moments. I mean, like when we were shooting the video with Ant.
Oh, for You Up, yep.
Yeah, like Ant Clements for You Up. We did that in this like old taxi cab. I think I maybe told you this already, but that shooting that video, like that car like broke down in the middle of the shoot, and like it's the people who rented us to us were not anticipating that we would at any point be driving it. We're just like, just take photos with it. Just like
an old ass car.
Shit. Yeah, like it's like 60s or something, and you know, it smelled like gasoline the entire time. It didn't have seatbelts in it, which also helps you place it in time a little bit. Just didn't have seatbelts, so it was cool. And then we just broke down, and Ant had just gotten to set, and we were just like about to film. And he's so fucking busy. We had to film his entire section without knowing that the car was gonna work. And then some dude on the street basically just like knew enough about cars that he was just like, here, let me like slap this one thing really hard. And then it, you know, after like 20 minutes of, you know, messing around. But yeah, so we got out of this. That was a little scary. That's not really a story about Ant, but it's a story about that video. And Ant was very patient with us, and we were blessed for that. Thousand Man Fani on the set of that video was like setting actual U.S. currency on fire, which was pretty funny.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why he was doing it. I think we had a fire, and I think he was just trying to flex. I love him. He's super nice. Great fucking verse, I think. And I mean, Shake. I mean, the story with Shake is not really a story, but like she was originally going to be featured on the first track, the What Happening track. Okay. Also, it's called What Happening because one time I was in a TikTok with Tidal, and I was trying to say what up and change it to what's happening in the middle, but ended up with What Happening, which is a thing that I just say a lot now. This is completely nonsensical.
As an English teacher, that, you know, grinds my gears a little bit.
Hurts you a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't.
What Happening is a thing that I say now. And so Shake was on a version of that, and like then, you know, it was like a few months later, I was like, hey, so we're gonna put this out. And she's like, I don't like that anymore. I was like, all right. And she's just like, let's just get a, like, we'll do like an interlude. We'll do like vocals, like you write some vocals. And actually, we had done this, the first song on her album, it's called Web. It already came out. I produced, and it literally is made that way with my vocals and her vocals. And she had just really enjoyed that process. She was like, let's just do another one of those, and we'll put it for your album. So we made that in one night. But tracking her down to do anything, and I fucking love Shake, of course. Tracking her down to do anything is impossible because she, like, for the most part, doesn't have a phone. So you have to, like, hassle the people around her and be like, yo, when is she coming back to the crib? Is she good? Is she doing something? And then you show up, and it's like, is the engineer here? Okay, no, can I engineer? It's like, it's always an adventure. But, yeah, she's fucking amazing, and she's, like, incapable of making anything that isn't just fucking genius, in my opinion. She's, like, probably my favorite artist, so, yeah.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah, and you're opening for her, which is obviously an amazing thing for you.
And it's so fucking, I could not think of a better artist to be opening for right now.
And I think your sounds are obviously different, but I think there's a similarity in terms of like the type of like maybe audience you could draw for like.
I think her music's actually even more cinematic than mine, and that it really is just like the songs barely have like a song structure. A lot of times it's just these vibey trips through like music.
Yeah.
Whereas mine are like, at least on this album, and I've kind of talked about this in interviews, but like the album is largely pop songs with choruses and verses and pre-choruses, and like they're structured in a pretty traditional pop way, because I really just wanted to prove to myself, as someone who grew up around classical music, who didn't really know anything about pop music, I just wanted to prove that I could make pop songs. And so I think, I may not stick that rigidly to it in the future, but this was just like in some ways an exercise to be like, let me try to like make bangers, like get my shit together, you up. These are like, they're really just structured exactly like, Khalid and Drake and all those artists that I really like. So I don't know what we're talking about, but yeah.
It's all good, man. This is great. This is great content.
But her shit's not like that. Yeah. So I think that's like the contrast. But then I think like, and also there's a lyrical contrast with us too. I've been thinking about this because her songs are very trippy lyrically, very abstract, in the same way that they are musically. Whereas mine are like extremely down to earth. Like, I'm driving right now and I'm feeling depressed and I'm going to get high or something. It's like really, like I shout out the red line in my song 15, which I'm playing tonight. Like she's not usually doing that. I mean, I guess she'll say like a flight number or something, but it's usually very sort of like you kind of make what you will of it with her, which I take inspiration from. But yeah, definitely like I think it's a good contrast, but I think we also both live in kind of a similar place in terms of the music, kind of the whole world of music.
Yeah, no, I can totally hear that for sure. Favorite song on the album for you? Like, I know it's tough picking. Like, they're all your children, they're all your babies. So like you're picking amongst obviously one of your kids here. But.
Yeah, it changes a lot. I mean, I think like the latest thing I've done often is the thing that I'm just the most excited by. Like the Casey feature is the very last thing that I did, and the fact that youth choir has been on there, Brooklyn Youth Chorus has been on there for years, like literally 2.5. Like we recorded them before the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of shit has happened, but having Casey interact with them, like that's something that I didn't even know I was going to get until a couple months ago when I was working with them. I was just like, I feel like he'd be really good on this, and like, so that's been really fun for me. The Mr. Hudson Burning Sky interlude.
That's right.
She was there. We recorded this like 3 months ago for the first time ever. We just wrote it on the spot. So it's like that one's, and a lot of people seem to really fuck with that one actually. So that, sometimes it's like if everybody's liking a song, that makes me listen to it again and be like, why is everybody liking this? And that makes me kind of grow to like it more. Whereas like, they're all great. I know a lot of people like Phases, but it's like it's been out for 2 years, and I'm just like it's not new to me anymore. But I definitely see why people like that one as well.
Yeah, I think for me, obviously, You Up is a huge favorite of ours. And then No One Really Gets Me, I think, as well. That song is amazing with Rumor. I think he did, and I
he's
really
so great.
His stuff is incredible, and I really loved the visuals you guys had for that.
Oh yeah,
that was
one
of my favorite videos that you've had so far.
That was a good one. I wish I had a story about that, but it was just such an easy day, and he was such a good sport about just wait. It was very hot. Yeah, that church wasn't really air conditioned. So.
And he had the mask on, right? Yeah. And he's like
one little tidbit. This is for real internet fucking nerds, but there was this girl named Sarah Brand who had a song that went viral like 9 months ago because people like basically her vocals like kind of out of tune, and people couldn't tell if it was supposed to be a joke or not. And it was like it has like 2 million views on it, and like Newsweek articles about like this weird. And her song takes place in a church at a wedding, and she's in the church scene at a wedding in my video because I just like hit her up as a fan of just the internet trolling, And so if you look really closely, you might catch her.
That's awesome. Now it's been out for almost a week now. What's the reception been like?
It's been crazy. I mean, it's just really good that the tour is happening. I mean, I'm just so grateful that this tour came together exactly at the same time as the album coming out, because just like every show, it's just like
whatever 30, 40 people that like DM afterwards, and I can just be like, let me know what you think of the album. And then it's just like, just keep getting more and more, people listening to it, and it just feels like things are kind of coming together. So, I mean, it's been crazy. But, I'm not someone who like, people tend to like study the numbers on the shit and be like, how many streams did it do the first day, blah, blah. And it's like, if you're Drake, I guess that's like a meaningful thing, but like, I don't fucking care. Like, I look at DMs, I try to just find people that care about it. And if they're having a good time, then I'm having a good time.
And I really feel as though like you're getting a lot of looks on like some of these these playlists, and Apple's really like pushing it.
Yeah. Apple put me on music.com. I mentioned earlier Pharrell's website has 2 billboards with my face on them in LA right now.
It's incredible.
Apple Music has me at the top of some shit. What was it? It's like creators or music, some kind of behind the scene. Spotlight, Creator Spotlight, I think maybe is what it's called.
Was it Anti-Pop is another one? Didn't they put you
Spotify had me on the cover of the Anti-Pop playlist, and they've had pretty much everything on the album on New Music Friday, which is sick. And like, that stuff's all great. I mean, I appreciate that because it does help more people find it. But I think I've come to learn that it's really the most important thing. It's just like every individual person who's like, yo, this song spoke to me, like that means now I think more to me than all the whole music industry getting behind it, whether they do or not.
Well, I think you dropped the album at a perfect time, right? We're just getting out of a pandemic. People are already feeling this way in a lot of ways. Well,
no, I don't know.
I guess it would depend on.
I think the music industry is a strange place where, like, basically the pandemic ended after like June of 2020, and no one ever stopped going to parties after that point. I don't think I've ever been in a session where someone wore a mask or anything. It's just fucking chaos. So I do my
except
best.
Rumor, right? He's the only one.
Well, yeah, but Rumor's mask is literally every part except the mouth.
Yeah.
And he has also made this joke. So yeah, it is. I don't know, man. It's, I mean, I try to be safe. We're all vaccinated and shit, and we had to do testing and stuff to do this tour. So we do our best, but in the end, like, obviously, people want to go out, and they're going to go out no matter what at this point. So we're here doing our best to entertain.
Well, yeah.
And my string players actually do wear masks thanks to my like duck hunter headgear that I've been making them wear for this shit. So they're actually like probably the safest COVID musicians on stage.
There you go. A great segue. My final 2 questions here.
Sure.
I wanted to ask you about writing the sheet music for this tour, because I know you mentioned that 070 Shake like pretty much told you about this tour like not too far before the start date, and you had to write in like 10 hours or something like that. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So specifically, like the pop songs I'm doing, I had already arranged, and I made a couple tweaks, but like pretty much like I had done those before, and I was ready, which thankfully, and I've done a couple shows. I did one in New York a few months ago. So yeah. I mean, she had always spoken. We've been talking about this, like maybe this will be a thing, but no one ever was like, yes, this is happening again until 3 days before the thing. So yeah, I had to get my shit together.
No pun intended.
Really fast. Yeah. And basically, like the other part of the deal was that in the major cities, which is New York, LA, and we decided Boston. That in addition to doing my main set, which is like 35 minutes or something of music, I'm also doing this like what was going to be a 25-minute, we cut it down to 15, of just straight up classical violin and piano, sort of like a piano trio, but slightly different instrumentation, but like piece that I was gonna write, and it would just be like, she was just like, yeah, just do your like classical orchestra shit, you know. I'm just like, all right, well, I have 2 violins, I'm not gonna probably do more than that for logistical reasons, but I could write a piece for 2 violins and piano. I don't have one. And so then I was just like, all right, well, I guess I'll just write this. And the tour started Friday. Let's see. Yeah, and then I had a rehearsal all day Thursday. So I just, Wednesday morning woke up and wrote 25 minutes of classical music, which normally is something I would take about 2 months to do in about 10 hours. And then I woke up really early on Thursday and kind of fixed it up. But yeah, it's so we just played that earlier today, and it's pretty crazy. And we've done it in New York, and it was just really cool because like I've always like said like my long range goal with this shit is to just eventually be doing classical music for like hordes of screaming fans. Like I think that's like ideally how that music should be experienced, in my opinion.
Totally.
And by classical I mean like contemporary classical. I don't, but just like I was a composer in school, and I'm still a composer, and like that world I think could have a bigger audience. And so we did it in New York, and there was just like mad people just like screaming at all their favorite parts of this fucking weird chamber music thing that I wrote, and just like I was like, damn, this is really a preview hopefully of things to come. So it's been really sick. I hope it goes well tonight too.
Is that like a cool feeling for you, for like a counterpart to just actually like want you to get like go back to those roots and like want to do something like that, and like encourage you? Even?
It's been interesting because I think like most of the people that I work with in LA on some level fuck with me because of that stuff.
True,
and they're able to be like, oh no, we got Johan, the like composer genius in here and shit, and like that's like a good selling point because it's like, who else are they gonna get that they can, I mean, there's Ludwig, but like I think the fact that it's like the fact that she is not only just being like, yeah, cool, like lend that sauce to these songs, but like, no, like just fully fucking do that thing for my audience and my fans for 20 minutes or whatever, 15 or whatever it's going to be, like that. Yeah, it is just like a level of trust and a level of like adventurousness, which is like why I fuck with her and why I think she's one of my favorite artists right now. So yeah.
Well, man, we are obviously so excited for this show. I mean, obviously, this is probably going to come out after the Boston Boston shows. But if wherever you are, make sure you're following this man, Johan Lenox, for sure on all platforms, and make sure you are for sure getting into any of the shows that he is doing over the next couple months. I know you even mentioned you might be coming back to Boston pretty soon.
That's all I want to do. I mean, it's been probably because of you guys and a few other like the Stiz feature and stuff. There's definitely just been a lot of people in Boston just being like, when's the show? And so I mean, I think a lot of them will be here tonight and tomorrow, but I'm very excited to do like a small show just around me and my friends and stuff in a couple months.
That would be amazing. Hey, final question for you, and before we wrap up, and this has been amazing. Thank you so much for your time and doing this for us. I know we've been in contact for now over a year, and it's just been great to watch your journey, but also for like I said this before, but just your support of us.
Hilarious.
No,
you guys are the best.
Oh, thank you, man. Like me jumping in on Instagram Lives this week, and you just like shouting me out, like shouting our platform out like right away. Like it's so cool. So I just really appreciate that.
Do you guys know the Messy Room guys too?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
they're really they've also been really cool. I'm just gonna shout them out since I'm here, and like they're fucking fire too. So yeah,
they're really cool guys.
And there was some guys in Hull that I did something with, but I can't remember what they were called. But whatever.
Yeah, no, they're
you guys are the best.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, it's funny you said that because where we're recording now, we're recording at John Glass's new studio, and those guys, those are our Messy Room guys, I guess, hang out there as well. I haven't seen them there yet. Cool. But anyway, my final question for you before we wrap up here: what's your favorite song to perform?
It's been cool to figure that out. I mean, I've really enjoyed 15, which is again the one where I mentioned the red line, because that one I like added this kind of like sort of lightly like, I don't know, it's a piano. I've been playing piano on it with these like random ass like gospel turnarounds and shit, and that's been pretty fun because it's just not in the song. It's just fun to find like a new variation on the song, I guess. So that one's been really fun. Moderation is not like, it wasn't even a single at the time, but people just want me to play that shit, and so that one's a really good because it's just easy to sing along to, and I'd say those two are among my favorites. And this classical shit is just fun because it's just like I don't even know what to expect when we go out and do that, and it's just a real like challenge, I think, for the audience, and it's excited to watch them kind of like figure it out almost. So.
Yeah. Are you finding like a lot of new, just getting like a lot of new fans from all this, and just people?
Yeah,
that
I
are
think
finding
so.
you?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it's
awesome.
yeah, the streams have been going up, and like again, like I said, like the thing that's most important to me is really like the DMs, and I know a lot of people will become a fan of an artist without DMing them, but like definitely the ones who DM, it's like that just like helps me know that like people are out there being like, yo, I love this song, or I love the strings, or I love that classical. It's like, okay, cool, like there's a person at the other side of this, because it really is like with the Spotify shit, it's like you've seen artists get like 20 million streams and can't sell out a show, and it's like, I don't know, it's like those are real listens probably, but it's all just like ambiently in a hotel lobby or somebody, it's like nobody ever like looked up who the artist was. It's just pure background music. So I think the idea that I can actually share a connection with somebody through music that feels compelled to like write to me about it, like that to me is the thing that usually tells me I'm on the right path. So it's definitely been like every show. Yeah, it's been like 30 or 40 every show, which is not, it's like whatever, a 10th or, a 20th probably of the people that are at the show, but it's great though.
No, but that's validating.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It is. It shows that you are like actually making an impact on people and like through your music. And that's why again, like we fuck with you so much, because I've always just connected to your music, especially so, and I not only just instrumentally but also lyrically. So hey guys, for real, like make sure you guys go stream the album. What do you want to be when you grow up? It's out on all streaming platforms, wherever you get your music. Make sure you go check that out. And when this comes out, no matter what city you're in, check some dates. See if Johan's going to be coming to a city near you. Once again, Johan, man, thank you so much for being here, man.
Yes,
This
sir.
is
Thank you.
or not being here. For
I'm
having
here.
me. Sorry, I'm
am
used to
here.
saying, coming to me. So I came to you
I'm
this
here,
time.
man.
Yeah, no, this was a lot of fun, and like I said, it's just an honor for me to come in here and do this. So
Oh, yeah.
without further ado, I'm Mike. This is Johan Lenox with the Turntable Teachers, and class is officially dismissed.
So this is from D'Agostino's. There was one in Winchester, there's one in Arlington, there's one in
Andover.
And one in Andover,
Yeah.
which is where you went today.
Yes, sir.
All right, and this is the Italian. It's the only thing you were supposed to get there, with everything, the works, including the hot, like cherry pepper kind of, Italian sort of like seeds or whatever that you
got it.
chop it up to
Yeah.
the spread.
You got
They
your
call it
hots.
hoagie spread in Philly. They call it hots here. This is the only real shit. I've been trying to get this at Wawa for like 3 weeks to no avail. This is the fucking shit right here.
The turntable teachers came through and made sure this man got his D'Agostino's.
Get this vice.
Yeah.
Gross.
Oh my god.
Is Dags a thing? I mean, I knew Dags was in Winchester. I knew there was like maybe like one in like
Andover.
Arlington or something.
Well, is it Arlington? She's from Arlington.
Is there one in Arlington?
Arlington, yeah.
But then is that it? But where-
Winchester.
No, there's
I'm
one
from
in
Winchester. But where did you all get it from?
Andover, because there's one in Andover too.
Huh.
Yeah. I've lived in Andover for like,
Oh, without realizing, you thought it was a local thing too.
I had no idea. I thought there was only one, because she took me
Right.
to the one. She always takes me to the one in Winchester.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
You guys go to Winchester a lot?
no. Well, you do.
What do you do in Winchester?
Just again, since I grew up so close, I just feel like all the restaurants and
You go to restaurants in Winchester?
Oh, we just were at a restaurant in Winchester. What was it called again?
Winchester's
for
like
your mother,
two restaurants.
for your mom's birthday.
Lucia's.
Oh yeah, you went to
Lucia's.
Lucia?
Yeah.
I forgot Lucia. I always forget that exists. That's been there since before I was born.
It was pretty good.
The
can't
guy
complain.
Filippo Frattaroli, he used to I went to school with his daughter, but he also owns one in the North End. So I feel like that it's called Filippo's, I think. So that's like the suburban North End flavor, I guess.
This is great blooper content, by the way.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
No, I'm just fucking with you. You're good.